There we go. There we go. If you can hear a cat in the background, that's my cat Brexit. Yes, Brexit. Brexit. There's a story behind it, and it's not what you think. I'm telling you now. Anyway, Brexit is in the studio, and he's saying hello to Dad because I'm obviously his big kiddie in his life. So anyway, but on for the game. Anyway, I'm telling you this. I want to say one thing before we move on. Don't be down. Don't wear a frown. The Gold Cup's coming. We're going to be covering the Gold Cup. And I've got to tell you, we will be covering the Gold Cup. Don't be down. Don't be down. We can do much better than that, and I'll tell you why, how, as we go through this. And also, big up to all of you poets this week. Take a look at your names. You have got your names in lights again. Take a look. And don't forget, it is Father's Day, as I still say it is, because it is still Father's Day as I'm broadcasting and making this video. So happy Father's Day, Dad of the match, to all the fathers out there. I'm a father as well. So happy Father's Day to every father out there. You're much loved by all the people that are part of your family. Even if you didn't think you were, you definitely are. Being a dad is something special, just like a mum, but it's Father's Day today. So Dad of the match is every father in the country, in the world, who's a dad. How about that? Moving on. So let's not forget our fathers. Fathers are very, very important. Now, as for the game, I got to say, 2 moments really changed the game for the USA, but it was a case that I don't think we were at the races for most of this game. The passing was off. It wasn't slick. We didn't pass and move. We were second to the ball pretty much every time throughout both halves. It was as if we'd just taken a long flight and it had taken us a long time to get somewhere, that we were exhausted from travel. We just seemed to be off the beat, off the heat, and we didn't look eager enough until it started to get later in the game. There was 2 moments in the game that really did tell you that one thing that I really didn't want to see. Remember in the last video, the pre-game to this game, I said there's one thing I don't want to see, and that's the game 2-0 at half-time with the game over and still 45 minutes to play. Game dead and not much fun. And that's exactly what we had. But not be down. Do not be down. The Gold Cup's coming, and that can be a great revenge. This loss in the final can be an absolute motivation tool for every guy in the squad, especially Johnny Herdman and the coaching team. So there's plus factors to this. If you had a choice, which of the 2 titles would you want? Would you want the Nations League, or would you want the Gold Cup? Because I know exactly which I would want. So, look, this is a precursor to probably what's going to happen in the future. You know it's going to be Mexico, Canada, USA in the finals pretty much all the time. No disrespect to anybody in CONCACAF, but you can't argue that point. It's a fact. But the Gold Cup, that's the one I think we need to look at. Now, talking about the game, first off, 2 moments of brilliance by the USA. You got to say the corner comes in from Reina. Absolute magical corner. That was so precise. And as he kicked it, I went, oh, that's a good corner. That's on the money. Not where the keeper can get it, not on the penalty spot, but just on the edge of the 6-yard box. Bang, beautiful. Up goes Chris Richards, and bangs it in 1-0. You could see it unfold. And take a look at the videos. He really wasn't tightly marked. Not at all. Where was the defensive coverage on that one? Just saying. Second part in the first half, which was another part of brilliance for the US. And I said, watch out what they do in the first half, because what they do in the first half, they'll do it again in the second half if you let them. Anyway, second half, 35 minutes in, Reina again slips in Balogun. And Balogun fires in with ease. Bajan can do nothing about it. 2-0 up after 35. And I tell you what, I felt sorry for every single Canadian fan that went down on that trip, because there's been a load of Canadian fans. Craig McTavish, big up to you for sending us some stuff about it. Loads of Canadian fans, and you could hear the Canadian fans in the stadium, although it was halfway filled by American fans, but you could hear the Mighty Reds, the Canadian fans, the Voyagers. And I'll tell you what, at 58th minute, you can hear them roaring. Check the film, check the highlight reels. But 58 minutes in, if you've got that film on PR, then check it. Back on the 58th minute, you'll hear the Canadian fans singing their hearts out. Big up to every Canadian fan that was there. Big up to the Voyagers. But 2-0 at halftime, you're thinking, You got to change something. You got to change something, and we got to get in the game. We got to start winning those battles. We've been losing every one-on-one in the first half. We haven't looked interested. The passing's not been precise, like I said it had to be. The passing was probably, I don't want to say it badly, but to be honest, it was probably one of our worst first half performances that we've had in a long time. Don't forget, you're playing the USA. They're ranked 13th in the world. We're ranked 47th. So it makes some kind of sense that you're under pressure when you're trying to slip between the channels or get something in between the lines, that the space just isn't there. And that's the good thing about America. You see, they're a sleeping giant. They're even ranked above Germany. Germany's ranked 14 in the world. That's got to resonate. That's got to tell you something. So on the day, 2-0 at half-time, it's exactly what we didn't want. But we didn't show up. That's what I'm saying. We didn't show up at all in the first half. We didn't threaten them. We didn't use the ball as the pressure spot. That ball was supposed to move and pressure that defense. It never pressured them once. And if you can't pressure the defense, you can't unlock it. You can't get the goals. We tried and tried and tried. And just like two heavyweights going at it in a big boxing match, the one who's leading the fight is making the shots count. He's hitting you every time. He's not fluffing. He's not wasting time. He's not dodging and weaving and not throwing. And he's not throwing any punch for no reason. Everything is done for a specific cause. And that was the US. They were the big boxer, and we were the boxer getting slightly tapped around. Let's just say that much. In the second half, it would go so differently. And on 66, had Kyle Lowry took a little bit longer before he smashed over that shot. What am I talking about? 66 minutes in, Kyle Lowry gets the ball. He's about 10 yards in front of goal. He lashes at one shot, doesn't go in, gets blocked, come back at him, and he blazes it right over the bar. If it had took a second just to top it, trap it, and then shoot, he may well have put that ball in the net. And that was the only chance, really, where he would get close. It wasn't his night to be. So anyway, moving along, still 2-0 to America. America's doing everything they need to do. Got to say, in between the lines, we were then starting to get in the game, starting to get more possession, starting to look threatening. But every time we got close, there was always a big American to block that pass, get in Alfonso's way, stop David getting on the ball to that shot, making David lose his first touch, etc., etc. You met a bigger team. The US was the better team on the night, wanted it more, and all the work was done in the first half by Giovanni Reina, who I say is a man of the match. And you could say, well, he didn't have a full game, and I would say you're absolutely right. But what he gave in the first half was the game-changing performance that no one else gave. If it wasn't for Giovanni, Mr. Reina, then it's 0-0 at half-time. And figure this, before he finishes in the second half, and on that injury, and I knew he was hobbled, I knew he was going to be going out, and it was sad to see it. But with Reina in the game, the USA are 2-0 up at half-time. In the second half, who scored? Nobody. Who made a game-changing moment and really secured the moment and made it happen? Nobody. Therefore, my pick, Giovanni Reina. If you disagree, drop a comment down below. I'd love to hear what you got to say. And also, big thanks to everybody that commented on the last video and throughout the week. Your names are up in lights. Take a look again, because you're the heroes on the show. And don't forget, to every father in the nation, happy Father's Day from me to you, because I'm a dad as well. But like I say, the game itself, it dwindled and then went to a quiet end, whereby, at halftime it was 2-0, and at full time you kind of thought, can we get back into this before we get the final whistle? And everybody, you got the answer to that question. We weren't up to it today, but Gold Cup's coming. Don't forget, we're going to be covering the Gold Cup. Absolutely. And we're going to be covering the Gold Cup in a different way. Wait for that to happen. I'll tell you what, look at the end of the video. We got some pretty interesting pictures for you. One of which is McKennie. McKennie was at the game. Cheeky bugger, eh? He's on the field, and he's red carded from the last game. Now, I'm making a joke here. McKennie's on the field celebrating with the team after the game. The game is not over. You might blow the final whistle. And as Dave Ganto will tell you, my friend FIFA referee, as he'll tell you, the game whistle might have blown for the end of the game. But until the field is cleared and his report is filed, whatever happens on that field can take place on the field. So here's the suit. The lawsuit, per se, the soccer lawsuit against the US right now. And remember, I'm only joking, but some people could think I'm serious. is that McKennie's on the field celebrating with the US team straight after the final whistle. There's an eligible player on the field of play. It is a legitimate law, and if I was to ask Dave Ganser what he thought of that, I'm sure he'd say it's literally, well, that's a little bit of a grey area for me, but I'd have to look into it, is what he'd say. Or he'd know straight away, bang. Legitimately, an ineligible player on the field, that is legitimately breaking the law. So remember, I'm only joking, but it could have been, and maybe someone's looking at it. Maybe Team Canada want to look at that. Maybe we can get the cutback or a replay under a technicality. And remember, I'm joking, but I could have been serious. Now, talking about the end of the game, it dwindled down, like I say, 2-0. Man of the match is definitely Giovanni Reina. And in the other game, I'm going to get to that pretty soon. You'll hear about something about why a goal was called off, and it was a wonder goal. But as for the Canada and the game that they lost today against the US in the final, do not be down, because like I say, the Gold Cup's coming. We're going to be in that tournament too. Guadalupe or Guyana is in our group, so they, is now the third place team, yeah. Cuba is in there too, and Guatemala. So there's the group that we're going to be facing in the Gold Cup. So looks good to get into the medal round. Looks good to then perhaps chance it to get to another final. And if it is the US, bang, 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 like two heavyweights, we could go at it again. But this time, we'd probably be the heavyweight that goes bang, bang, bang. Okay, so don't be down. Games are still coming, and I say we're going to be covering the Gold Cup from here, and all Canadian soccer too, and Canadian Premier League soccer as well. And thank you everybody that watches these videos and starts to make our numbers grow, because it's really appreciated. And we do this with a lot of fun because we love the game and the passion's there, and you haven't got someone who's going to bore you to tears. So big time thanks to everybody who quotes as a poet down below, who checks the like factor, because please hit the like button. YouTube resonates with that, and they make us get more information. What you don't know behind the scenes is the more likes, etc. we get, the more tools we're able to employ into the show. So we need your help. So like and subscribe to get us more tools, to get us to grow, to be #1 in Canada on YouTube. That's the goal, and 5,000 subscribers is the next target. As for today, we just weren't at the races, and you got to say, you can't win them all. You can argue the tactics might not have been right, and you can argue it at half-time. Why were there no changes? And you can argue about the system we played. I say this. If Tajon Buchanan wasn't fit to go, I'd have had 3 up front running all the time to keep that American defense, which is what they wanted to posture with, which is what they postured with all night. I would have put 3 guys up front of them all the time. Not 2. 2's not enough. The midfield you can clog up by closing the lines. But closing that width on that defense was one of the key issues that we didn't do tonight. And I'm looking at the tactics thinking, why not? And I'm not going to complain. I'm just going to say that was one of the things. The other thing, we didn't have the shooting boots on, and we didn't show the patience, and the precision passing that I asked for in the pre-game just wasn't there. That final ball wasn't precise, and we didn't have it. And sometimes, like I say, you can't win them all. Anyway, moving along, loads of things coming, lots of things coming. Just want to say happy Father's Day to every father in the nation, and I hope you enjoyed the game despite the loss. Come back for more, because we've got loads more coming this summer. Keep it here, and please like, subscribe and like, and hit the notification button every time. Cheers.